Welcome back to Frontline News. I'm Javon Keys. It's now time for Frontline Business. International Monetary Fund IMF Mission Chief for Jamaica, Dr. Manuela Goretti, says the country should by Tuesday receive the $520 million that has been approved by the fund's executive board. Now the money is being disbursed under the IMF's rapid financing instrument. Minister of Finance Dr. Nigel Clark wrote to the IMF on April 15 requesting access to the facility as part of measures to cushion Jamaica from the economic fallout of the COVID-19 pandemic. Now Jamaica is among 60 countries whose rapid financing instrument has been approved. Meanwhile, the IMF mission chief says Jamaica's economy is projected to contract by 5.3% during the current fiscal year. She says there should be gradual recovery over the next 2 years. However, Dr. Goretti cautioned that the outlook remains subject to an unusually high degree of uncertainty. The Bank of Jamaica BOJ has decided to hold the policy interest rate at 0.5%. The rate is offered to deposit-taking institutions on overnight placements with the central bank. Now, monetary policy decisions made by the BOJ are aimed at ensuring that annual increases in consumer prices remain within the 4 to 6% inflation target. Now, the BOJ's assessment is that inflation over the next 8 quarters will be lower than its previous projection of 4.7% published in February, but will remain in the target range. The central bank says the lower projection is influenced by the adverse impact of COVID-19 on the Jamaican economy and the measures taken to contain it. Now, Digicel has extended the deadline for bond holdouts as it sweetens restructuring terms in a bid to wipe out a quarter of its debt. The Irish Times newspaper Monday reported that the holdouts of 2 particular bonds will have another 2 days to accede the surrender of their bonds for new notes due in later years. The main reason this particular group is being targeted is to push out ultimate repayment dates rather than impose major losses on them. Now, enough bondholders of all other classes have already signed up to get the wider restructuring over the line. The current debt negotiations come a little over a year after bondholders who were owed almost $3 billion agreed to postpone getting their money back by accepting longer dated notes in exchange for their holdings. Ratings agency Moody's has said Digicel's plan to wipe away as much as 1/4 of its debt through the restructuring will amount to a default. Now on to local stocks. In Tuesday's trading session, the JSE Combined Index declined by 3,847 points to close at just under 400,000 units. Overall market activity resulted from trading in 80 stocks, of which 36 advanced, 31 declined, and 13 traded firm. The junior market index declined by 42 points to close at over 2,000 units. Stocks advanced for 138 Student Living Jamaica, Caribbean Assurance Brokers, Caribbean Cement Company, Caribbean Flavors and Fragrances, and Derrimon Trading Company. Stocks declined for 1834 Investments, Access Financial Services, Burrito Investments, Caribbean Producers, and Carreras Limited. Trading firm were AMG Packaging and Paper Company, Berger Paints Jamaica, Grace Kennedy, GUS Corporation, and ISP Finance Services. Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited was the volume leader with over 8 million units, followed by Medical Disposables and Supplies Limited with 5 million units, and Wicton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with just over 4 million units. And now the foreign exchange. Now on to commodities. Oil prices pulled back slightly on Tuesday as a U.S. Senate committee grilled Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin about the aid packages intended to bolster the economy. Now, Brent crude was down 40 cents or 1.2% to settle at $34.41 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate was down 13 cents or 0.4% to settle at $31.62 a barrel. And that's it for Frontline Business. I'm Javon Keys, wishing you pleasant viewing.